Ahlan wa sahlan, podcast after shower. Today we have a tourist in Dubai, but she's very unique tourist. She is actually helping many women to find confidence to date again, and she's an expert in this. And not only this, I let her introduce herself. So she's American, lives in Paris. Paris.
That is true.
Yeah, so I let you introduce yourself. You can.
So I'm Kimberly Anderson, and I'm an international dating expert, and I'm American from the windy city of Chicago.
Chicago.
And I live in the City of Lights, Paris.
Wow, we have a Chicago and After Shower podcast today. Chicago woman, that's amazing. And dating expert. So usually we do After Shower podcast as a conversation. This is why it's called After Shower podcast. But for you, I prepared different thing. I prepared 10 questions, which I will just go right away to the questions, and then we're going to go to conversation. It's a bit hard because this is like usually we just conversation, we're chilling, speak about motivation. But today, guys, stay tuned. We're going to have these 10 questions. Let's go. First question. What inspired you? Where is this? Wait a second. I was recording my voice. So this is okay. So first question. What inspired you to start your program and help women gain confidence in dating again?
Excellent question.
Yeah.
What inspired me? Oh, it's kind of a long story. I would say
you're a dating expert. So how you started? Like what inspired you to become a dating expert?
Right. So I'd say the short answer is I did a number of years of personal development. And I was married for many years, and I came out of that relationship.
French guy, right?
Yes, yes.
How did he marry a French guy? That would be another question. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of a long-winded answer, but I always have felt very connected to people.
Yeah.
When I was quite young, I always wanted to help and give something back to this planet during this life here. And I worked for a number of years and kind of went all over the globe, working in the media industry for the New York Times and the Financial Times. And I had fascinating roles. But in 2019, some tragedy hit for me and some difficulties. So in 2019, my divorce went through. My dad was killed in an accident. My mom was diagnosed with fourth stage cancer. So it kind of all of these things happened all at once in 1 year. And it was really a wake up call. And I said, it's like a new birth for me.
Yeah.
And I used all of my years of personal development at that stage. And I thought, you know what, now I want to do something to fulfill my mission in giving back to people. And fulfill a higher purpose. And so that's when I took on a master's degree. So I went back to get educated and fill in the blanks in my education in France at HEC Paris.
Wow.
And I did a degree in entrepreneurship and innovation so that I could, like I said, kind of fill in the blanks of what I didn't know, so that when I did start my own company, that I would as an entrepreneur, that I could fulfill my dreams, both as an entrepreneur and in helping others. So I began searching, and one of the first things that came to me was to help women rebuild their lives after divorce. And then I thought, I'm not looking to be a therapist. That's not my goal. It really is to elevate other people, women in particular, because it's based on my story, right? That I can help people.
Yeah, you were there, so you wanted to do what you have done to yourself.
Exactly. And it was actually when I was dating, and one of my life coaches said to me, you're having such success dating. Why don't you help women date? Wow. And at first I said, no, I don't want, I don't want to help with that because it won't last forever. And so I kind of just dismissed it. And then I kept following kind of my path in rebuilding women's lives. And then another life coach said the same thing to me. And actually a lot of women came to me and said, how are you having such success? Like, what are you doing? Like, can you teach me? And I need to know your tricks. And what are your secrets? And even men were asking me to help them too, but I'm focused on women. But that's kind of a long-winded answer as to how I got into what I'm doing now.
That's so inspiring. How has living in Paris influenced your perspective on relationships and dating?
Living in Paris?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'd say...
How long you live in Paris?
since I was 20,
Wow.
a very long time. A very long time.
Wow.
I would say I'm really a global citizen. I've traveled so much for work and for pleasure that I don't really associate myself with one particular country. I mean, granted, there is, I have more experience in certain countries like the United States or France,
Yeah.
Europe, but I feel very connected to many different countries when I
Yeah.
travel. It's one of my huge sources of inspiration is meeting different peoples and
I love traveling
civilizations.
too. Yeah.
So I wouldn't say it's there's often also a universal language of sorts
Yeah.
across different cultures. So there are fundamental principles that can be applied regardless of whatever country you're
But do you
in.
think Paris has an effect on you? I think too. So you started to become a dating expert? Because Paris is we call the city
of love.
Yeah.
Honestly, not necessarily. I could do it
Yeah.
anywhere, right? And what I
But you
do
would
is
never know because you were living there since 20, right?
sure. But
Yeah.
the women that I help are all over the world, but mostly the United States and English speaking Europe.
Yeah.
Some other countries, of course, and I'm, open to various cultures, but I'm not geographically fixed
Yeah. I
in a
understand.
location.
So what are some common challenges women face when re-entering the dating scene, and how do you address them?
Right. Okay. There are a lot of challenges.
Yeah.
So I'd say a lot of the challenges stem from their belief system to start with.
Oh.
So when someone has gone through previous relationships, they've had an experience and then they associate themselves with that particular experience. And they think that is almost like a roadmap for their future. But in fact, it's just a point in time and it's an experience that they had. It's hopefully a learning that they had. And that's a pain point that I see a lot is that women, when they go into dating, they're bringing a lot of things from their past, and they need to know that they can rewrite their future in any way that they want. So
do
their
you
past
think
doesn't
they
define their
can
future.
Disconnect from the past. They have to.
They can if they want to, but I think the first step is awareness. They have to understand if there's a pattern and what pattern they want to break.
And do you think the partner remind them of their past?
Their previous partner?
No, the new partner.
Oh, the new partner.
Maybe he does something, it reminds them of something, so it brings the past too.
Of course, and that can be positive or negative. So it can feel very familiar to them, and they say, "Oh, I like this," because it feels like something I've experienced, and they don't realize that they're then going to repeat that same pattern, right?
Yeah.
So that's why awareness is very important.
So if you see something reminds you of the past, you should not connect it to the past because it's a different person, right? Or you should connect it to the past.
Well, you can connect it to the past, but it's in the power is in the awareness. So, for example, if someone is very controlling and you're dating someone and you notice, that he takes your phone away from you and orders for you without asking what you'd like. If you've experienced that in the past, then you can say, "Oh, I've been there. I remember this now. Aha, this is happening again. Do I want to be with
Controlled.
someone like this again?"
Yeah.
And then the woman can make that decision. So the power is in her hands.
Wow, take the power. So could you share some success stories from women who have used your advice to navigate the dating world?
So I'd say the transformation is really, it varies.
Yeah.
And it depends on what the woman's goal is. So if she wants to date just to kind of explore because she doesn't have a lot of experience before her past relationship, she can explore different types of personalities, have fun with it. And then there are other women who have done that and they want to find their partner. So that is very fulfilling when, I've been able to help someone find their partner.
Yeah.
And that was her goal. But it depends on the person's goal, right? And I honor there's no reason to say everyone has to be in a relationship or everyone has to get married or no one can have just some experiences and have fun.
Yeah. So let us know some stories like success, like Just an example. People like specific things.
Mm.
You remember a story?
Sure. So one woman, she was recently 43 and wanting to find her partner to have children. And at
Wow.
43, it's really quite stressful.
It's challenging, yeah.
And one thing that she, I think, made a mistake in, and that's quite common, is women tend to assume that they're in a relationship with someone that's committed. And the man doesn't necessarily think that he's committed, but the woman assumes they're committed and she doesn't want to rock the boat. So she spent 5 years with a man who, in the end, she realized didn't want to stay with her in a committed relationship and have children. And so, then she gets up to age 43 and she's really worried about, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? How am I going to find someone? Yeah. So after she went through my program, she found quite quickly, actually, she described him as the perfect partner, which is really satisfying. She is pregnant.
Wow, that's
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's so lovely.
Yes.
Great job.
Yeah.
I think it comes from within her, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
All the answers come from within
us,
each of us.
What advice would you give to women who may be hesitant and unsure about dating again after a significant of life change or divorce or whatever? So what advice you would give them?
I'd say if they're hesitant, they need to understand why they're hesitant. So if, for example, they're just getting divorced, or they've just gone through a divorce, or they've just gone through a breakup, if they're hesitant, there's maybe a valid reason. They need time to digest what's happened. They need space for themselves. And I think they should honor that space and that time. Reconnect with who they are, do things that, make them happy.
Know who they are.
Know who they are.
Actually, she asked me, do you know who you are? before the podcast. Do you know who are you?
Do I know who I am?
Yeah.
I have a pretty good idea, but I've done a lot of work on myself. Who am I?
Yeah.
In what sense?
Like define yourself, like the sense of who are you? Like.
Yes, I'd say it's been a long time because I was always helping I have 3 sons.
Wow.
So I spent
3 sons.
Yes.
3 boys.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, 3 adult sons who are amazing.
They love each other?
Yes.
Support?
Yes.
I think they can do great in life. 3 brothers, it's a good thing.
Yes, they're very supportive of each other and yes, very fortunate, very blessed.
Wow. They're half French, half American.
Yes, that's right.
Wow,
yes.
Good mix.
Yes. So I spent
they speak French and English?
Yes, they speak both French and English.
And perfectly, because the mother is American and the father is French. Yeah, that's a good mix.
Yeah, which is a great gymnastic for the mind, right? Learning multiple
They should come
languages.
to Dubai. I would do an interview with them. Yeah.
So I spent many years kind of focused on raising children.
Yeah.
I was in a codependent marriage, so I had to process all of that. And that was what started my personal development journey.
Yeah.
And so today I am kind of the product of all of my learnings and my experience. And I feel very serene and very kind of centered and peaceful. And I just want to spread love and light to women and to men equally, because when women come in contact with men,
so you are light. Yeah.
We're all light.
Yeah. So how do you incorporate both American and French dating culture into your guidance of your audience? Like you have the 2 culture in you. So how you put this into the program? I think it's different to date in America and to date in France, right?
There are nuances. There are differences. And then people could argue there are differences in cities. Like they'll say, it's so difficult to date in New York. But there are good men everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And we see
supportive and
right. But I think the challenge is again in the belief system. If somebody says there are no good men in New York, There are no good men in,
Come to
wherever I
Dubai.
live.
There's good men in Dubai.
I mean, and we have never lived in a better time ever
Ever,
to date.
You can connect with anyone.
To connect with people.
Yeah.
We can connect with people on dating apps. We can connect with people on internet platforms of all kinds. There's so many communities.
That's true.
It is unbelievable how we can connect with people. So there are endless possibilities. Whereas before we would hope we just run into somebody at the supermarket or, be introduced by a friend. And that still happens, of course, thankfully. But we have so many more opportunities to meet people.
Yeah.
And I think it's.
Have you ever dated someone from online app?
Of course, many.
Never happened to me. I don't know.
On a dating app?
Yeah, I always met like in real life.
Well, real life is great. Real life is.
I'm bad in chatting.
Well, I don't.
I don't have patience in chat. Like,
well, chatting endlessly via apps is not a good idea because real life is what counts, right? People can build false impressions through dating apps by chatting endlessly because you think you're chatting to someone, but actually you're chatting to someone who's
else.
Totally different. So each person is creating this story about the
this
person.
Why I'm bad in chatting because I'm good in real life, like honest connection.
Yes. So the faster one can move. Once they feel comfortable and have enough information about that person and can meet in a public place so they feel safe with people around, not just a public place that's empty, but a public place where people are around, that's always the best. Yeah.
So you just get to the moment you meet the person because you will feel,
Yes, absolutely.
When you meet in real life, you will feel the person.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
I never had Tinder. I never had any kind of application dating because once I tried long time ago, maybe 10 years ago, never worked for me because I'm very bad in like attracting someone by chatting. Like if I go somewhere, I always meet people. So I understood.
Is that a belief or is that true? I bet you'd be good if you wanted to be.
Yeah. To know how to chat.
Why not? Of course. It's not, it's about asking the right questions and
I don't know. Yeah, I don't ask that question. I don't follow. I don't, I don't give it attention. Like because for me, it's easy if I go place, I meet people in real life. Yeah. I think some other people, friends of mine, they're very good in chatting. They know how even, as you said, to create an image. All these things. I like to be honest and straight to the point. Like.
Well, and then people can go overboard and only be serial dating app people, right? They go from one date to the next date to the next date. It's not in the quantity; it's also in the quality. Right?
You enjoy the quality,
exactly.
The quantity,
exactly. Yeah,
it's true. So, can you share some strategies for building self-confidence and self-worth, particularly in the context of dating?
Right. So, like we said, the
easy strategies for people, like so they.
Into the camera?
Yeah, it's okay. But here's your people. Yeah.
So the best way to build self-confidence is the journey inward. So getting in touch with who you are on the inside. And I know that may sound very vague, but you can start with little baby steps, right? So one thing that I did that really helped me hugely, and this was many years ago, I was convinced that I could not meditate. And I thought, I don't really understand what this is. My mind's too busy. I don't have time for this. Gosh knows I don't have time. And then I found on YouTube a 1-minute meditation. And I was like, okay, I cannot say that I don't have 1 minute. So I practiced a 1-minute meditation. And then I really felt the benefits of it. And I started to feel more peaceful, more calm, reconnect with my inner self. And that's one very small micro action that can help with building your confidence, because ultimately confidence comes with feeling at ease with yourself and feeling comfortable with yourself. And in order to feel at ease and comfortable with yourself, you need to get in touch with your inner world. And there's meditation, but there's other things like, and especially for women, because I actually didn't mention it earlier, but my audience are really high achieving women who have a particular challenge with feminine energy. So part of
They're
building.
achievers. They are like, they're strong. They are independent.
Right. So a lot of high achieving women will say things like, "I'm independent. I don't need a man."
Yeah.
But then they'll complain that they don't have any
But I
love
think
in their
That's
life.
not true, right?
Or then they'll say, men don't like strong women. Men don't like highly successful women. That's why I don't have a man in my life. But men actually do like intelligent, highly successful women.
Yeah, men do like successful women.
They
of course,
do.
Yeah.
But it's a matter of learning to harness feminine energy and not coming in with masculine energy that mirrors a man's energy. Because when we mirror a man's energy, that's not going to be appealing to a man. Just like perhaps,
that kills the energy.
Perhaps like a feminine energy in a man, if she wants a masculine man, feminine energy in a man won't be appealing to the woman.
Yeah.
So there's a beautiful place between men and women in terms of yin yang energy that's very complementary. And when a woman understands that, when she can harness that, it's like super powerful because she discovers something she didn't understand was there.
Yeah.
And so instead of saying things like, men don't like powerful women, men don't like women like us, if she leans back into her feminine and shows those feminine traits to a man, he will be attracted to her. And then she will understand that there are men that like powerful, intelligent women. Yeah. So it's part of the belief system. I kind of detracted off of your original question.
Yeah, the original question is about
confidence.
Easy strategies to be more self-confident.
Right. So,
easy,
so meditation.
It's really easy for them because they don't understand, like you found a minute meditation, right?
Yes. So
it helped you.
So 1 minute meditation. Also, things like taking time for yourself. So whether it's a walk in nature, wherever you live, if it's a nearby park or by a beach, or even just walking around the neighborhood wherever you live, if there's some nature around. If not, you can do other things like self-care, exercise, especially I would emphasize exercise around the feminine side. So yoga or Pilates or dancing. I mean, I'm a huge fan of dancing. Dancing is a huge outlet. You can do dancing for free anytime. I do it in my kitchen. I crank up the music and I dance. I actually dance a lot with my sons. We have a blast when they're there.
Wow.
We did it for years when they were at home. So that's super fun. If you have people around, put on headsets.
Yeah.
And that helps you liberate. It liberates your feelings inside of you, and you get in touch. You start to get in touch with how you feel. You can go to the spa, get a massage. You can go swimming if you're near water. Anything that comes in contact with your senses.
A lot of reason for people not feeling self-confident. I think the people around them, they should cut some people around them, make them,
Yes.
Because sometimes you're surrounded with people, you don't feel the effect, but they have an effect on you. So you need to cut yourself off these people.
Absolutely.
Because these people have this energy, makes you feel because you're self-confident, but you hear something and then you hear something again, and you try to keep it away from you, but you're seeing these people very often. And that makes you, it touches you from inside, but you don't feel. You know?
Absolutely. So a positive environment is very important.
It's very important.
So people who are supportive, who are loving. Now, if you don't have people who are supportive and loving around you, that's okay. You can find them. Again, we are in a place where there are communities online. There are amazing people who would love to be your friend, who would love to build a friendship, women or men. I've dated lots of guys and we're friends. We've stayed friends. And that's super cool. A lot of people have this belief you date somebody and you don't see them anymore. You don't need to talk to them anymore. Why? If they're great people and you're not meant to be together as partners, okay.
Friends,
so
big minds,
absolutely. And again, it's about that supportive, loving. So these men that I'm talking about are very supportive and loving. We talk about all kinds of things.
Wow.
So that environment's super important.
And I see it also if you have, you feel not confident, you need to take yourself away. Even if you'll be alone, but your confidence will come. As you said, so a little meditation, little work on yourself, walking. But this comes only when you're alone, take space from the negative people, even if they're very close people to you, very close friends, close family members, whatever. But just when you go alone, confidence come,
Yes, absolutely.
Like you go alone, you start to work on yourself, you start to have sport, you start to really work on yourself, dance, things like this, read. But as long as you have noise coming to your head, it's hard to feel confident. Confidence come when you are, you was there, who are you? And then you're going out and then you communicate.
Yes.
Yeah, but as long as you're close to people who are taking your energy, I think it's hard to be confident and go.
Well, I think you can be around people. The more resilient you become, the stronger you become, the more centered you become.
Yeah, you attract strong people.
The more and it affects you less.
Yeah.
So you view people differently.
Yes.
So instead of letting people trigger you or upsetting you or feeling competitive with someone, you don't experience things the same way. So
that's true.
You can understand. You view people from a perspective of they're having their own troubles, and a lot of times it has nothing to do with you. The way they might be acting towards you, zero, has nothing to do with you. Now it may be something to do with you because them in their life is trying to teach you something.
Yeah.
So, and that's great. Okay, look at it for that. What is there a message from this person that I'm?
Yeah, learn and then, but don't take it too close to your heart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But it takes time. Baby steps.
Yeah.
Takes time. It's a process, and enjoy the process, right?
Yeah.
It's not like
Life
some people say, when I'm happy or when I'm healed, no,
it's the process.
Healing is a journey. It is a lifelong journey beyond this life. It's an eternal journey to learn.
Yeah. So what are some misconceptions people have about dating, like women have and men have? What is the misconceptions they have?
I'd say women have misconceptions like I said earlier, men don't like intelligent women, or men only date young women.
Men like intelligent women.
No, I was saying that the misconception is that they don't like
but you think
women.
men like very intelligent, successful women? Yeah.
Of course. Yes.
I think if the man doesn't like successful women, what this come from?
Well, I think he's insecure with himself, right? He's feeling threatened with himself.
That's true. Because I think strong women, they know how to protect the kids, how to protect the house, how to protect him. So if he doesn't like this, it means he's insecure there. Totally agree. Yeah.
Yes. So then there are other misconceptions, like I'm too old to find someone. I was on a call with a lovely woman last week, and she said, I'm 67. I'm too old I think it's over. I'm too old to find love. And I said, it's never too late.
Never too old,
there are always people looking for partners. There are always people. My grandmother was married for 50 years to my grandfather, madly in love, beautiful love story. They had many, many problems throughout their marriage, difficulties, lots of problems, but they were devoted to each other and a beautiful relationship. And when my grandfather died, my grandmother met her boyfriend at age 70.
Wow.
Right? So, and there are people who meet later, right?
Yeah.
So again, if we tell ourselves, I'm too old, I'll never find someone.
I think this is the biggest misconception,
That's
age,
and I hear women in their early 30s telling me that.
Yeah.
I'm too old, and it really makes me laugh because I'm far, far older than that.
Wow. So guys, age is just a number. It's a level, as we say, right?
Age is a number.
Level 70, level 72, level 70.
And there are those people who are 40 who act 60, and there are people who are 60 who act youthful.
Yes,
right.
That's true.
So age is just it's just a number.
Just a number, just a level. So how do you maintain a healthy balance between your personal life, your program, your work, helping women with dating confidence? How do you maintain this balance between everything you do, like your work, your program, your women, and your kids? You have 3 boys.
Yeah, I'd say I do one thing that really, and I do more and more of it. In fact, there was something I heard from Jay Shetty recently, and he said, when I'm having a busy week, when I'm having a calm week, I meditate one hour per day. When I'm having a busy week, I meditate 2 hours a day. And I thought, wow, because we have a tendency
Wow.
to do the opposite, right? Myself
Yeah.
included. And I thought, okay, I need to step this up.
Yeah.
And actually, I
love this.
did.
When I have a busy week, I meditate 2 hours a week. When I have a calm week, I meditate 1 hour a week.
So, no, 1 hour per day.
1 hour per day.
Yeah. He would do it 1 hour per day on a calm day and 2 hours if it was a busy day.
Wow.
Now, I'm not going to necessarily give that amount of time, but I've upped my time. And that has been hugely beneficial to me because I think once we get accustomed to the meditation, it's what you had said earlier about when we quiet the mind, answers come to us. And when we have a busy life, balance for me is critical, right? So going out, having fun is critical. If I'm only working, it depletes my energy. If I'm only by myself, it depletes my energy.
Yes. A
So-
lot of thoughts. It eats you. Yeah. You need to meet, connect.
Yes. So
Yeah.
exercise
Or at
is,
least go out. If you're alone, you can go to the mountains. You can go far away. You can go hike.
yes.
See animals, whatever. But you need
Yes.
to see something. Yeah,
Yes.
it's true.
And exercise is very important for me
Yeah.
as well, to build my body, but also my mind. And there are endorphins, so you feel
Yeah,
great
yeah.
after exercise.
Yes.
It's a total win-win. So it helps your body and your mental. So I'd say that's it, really. Kind of
So
making-
exercise, meditation,
exercise, meditation,
taking care of
having
yourself.
fun.
Yeah,
Fun
fun.
is so important because we're not here.
Have fun, guys.
Yeah, we're not like, and that's something I talk about a lot in
Yeah.
my program. Is dating shouldn't be like, okay, this is a job interview, so you man, sit down in front of me, and I'm going to drill all the questions because I'm a professional woman, and I'm going to ask you all these things as checklist, and then if
He
you
will run away.
pass the test,
He'll
then
be
maybe
running.
we can have coffee again together, right?
Yeah.
No, there
Should be
has to
fun.
be fun and play.
Yeah.
And that's why, in order to get in that state of fun and playfulness, one has to have gone through a bit of inner work. So they're feeling calm enough and connected to themselves and energized
Yeah.
that they can and feel supported. So that's what I provide as well, as a lot of support, right?
Wow.
You can do it
Yeah. I love this.
to help women and have the fun, because a date should be fun. You're meeting someone for the first time. You don't know them. Why shouldn't it be fun? Life
Yeah.
is meant to live and to enjoy.
It's true. So what is your future plans now regarding this program you have? Where do you see yourself in the next years?
So my goal by 2027, and it's an ambitious goal, is to help 1 million women.
1 million women.
Yes.
Wow.
I need everybody's
Women, you
help.
need
So
help.
please spread the word so I can
Yeah.
help other women.
Yeah.
And that's really through my program, but it's also through things like, my YouTube channel. So women can look at the content and have some gifted advice and tips.
Yeah.
Same thing on Instagram or TikTok. And so adding all of that cumulative reach,
Yeah.
if I'm touching 1 million lives by 2027, I feel awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an amazing
Yes.
gift. So what inspires you the most? Like now we go to the conversation between us. Where does your inspiration come from?
Ooh, so many places. I have a lot of inspiration from spiritual teachers. I would say that is kind of, my primary, like Joe Dispenza, for example, I listened a
Joe
lot
Dispenza,
to.
I know. I have the book, The Becoming Supernatural.
Yes.
I was reading it. It's a very hard book.
Yes.
You like it? Did you
I
read it?
haven't read it, but I'm going to. I've listened a lot to him, and I'm going to see him.
Yeah,
one
I
of
bought
his.
the book. I'm trying to understand it. It's not an easy book, There's alpha, beta,
Yes.
things like.
Well, those are important. And what I like about Joe is he's now running kind of linking the invisible to science, and I think that's really helpful and important
Yeah.
because there's so many. When people are in their heads, which as humans we can of course all be in our heads, meaning intellectually.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people think that whatever's beyond what's in our head is, very woo-woo and out there. But he's connecting a lot of
To science.
what happens to science.
Yeah,
So, for
yeah.
example, when
Being
you feel
nothing and being no one and alpha, beta. I'm reading it. It's hard. Like he's trying to tell you to change, you have to become no one in the states of no one, and then you start to accept, because as long as you have something, how you have to empty
Well, it's going back to what I was saying about
Yeah.
the programs that we've received, the
Yeah.
experiences we've lived through. So if we've been through a certain, everyone has had their childhood, right? So there's a
Yeah.
program right there. We identify with what we've gone through, or we go through a job experience. We
Yeah.
identify with that job experience. But we don't need to identify with any of that if we don't want to. We can create what we want from our lives.
Yes.
So when he says about going to nowhere to then rebuild back up, it is coming from that space of understanding that what we are living through is a product of our experiences, and those experiences can change for the future
Yes.
in any way we want.
Change our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this is amazing. So if you choose one word as a favorite word, what would it be?
Love.
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 That's amazing. And your motivation is from where also? Like, what motivates you?
What motivates me?
Yeah.
I'd say what I have received in terms of personal growth and all the love that I've received from, I've met many, many spiritual kind of teachers and healers over the years.
Wow.
I mean, and they would come to me, and I thought, why am I meeting all these people? I wasn't out looking for them. They just kind of showed up. So all of that knowledge and understanding has brought me to where I am today. And I forgot your question now.
Yeah, motivation. Your motivation.
Right, my motivation.
Yeah.
So my motivation is to spread the love and the light that I have been elevated to.
That's amazing. Yeah. So I give you a chance to ask me 5 questions because you're an Aftershock podcast. It's a gift. I can skip 2 questions if they're too hard.
Hey, I didn't get those.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't go so hard because it's your first time. You're going to come episode 2, 3, 4. If people want me to ask you more questions, I'm sure there will be a lot of interested people. They want to know more about these things, about dating, women, men. So yeah, you can ask me something. Yeah.
Okay, so
Let's go.
what was your most difficult experience in your life, and how have you overcome it?
What was my most difficult experience in my life? I think it was when I was in Russia trying to make my master's PhD. After I was there alone, it was cold, I was alone. I'm checking every one of my friends, enjoying the sun, enjoying being with their beloved people, and I don't speak the language. So it was a hard experience. Like I overcome it with just knowing that I cannot fail. I have to keep going, so I won't give up.
Okay.
And after a while, I could speak the language better than like even my Arabic, my English. And
Wow.
it went well. Yeah, I took a challenge. I went 9 hours a day, 6 hours in the university, 3 hours alone. And I studied a whole new language, imagine. And I wrote 2 theses in this new language.
Wow.
Which is one of the most difficult languages in the whole world.
Wow.
Yeah, but it was hard. It was painful. I had some crying moments. I wanted to give up, I was like, yeah, collapsing, like what I'm doing here, why should I handle these people, like what I'm doing to myself, it was hard, but deep inside of me I was believing I just need to get it done. So I kept pushing, I didn't want to give up. It was easy to give up and go back to the sunny place and to my friends, the people I know. I think every time you overcome something really hard for you, you grow.
Absolutely.
So when it feels really scary to go to this place because you understand it's good for you, but why should I handle this pain? Like, why should I be that far? Why should I go there? I think it's time to go.
Yes.
And it will be every day you want to give up. Every day. It's normal.
Yes.
It's like you are on the highway, like there is a lot of exit, a lot of people, they exit. There's only a few cars continue.
Yes.
And this is you. Like you have to go to keep going.
That's right.
Because it's easy to exit. Like, yeah, there's an exit for people who are lazy, exit for people who cannot handle it. Every day I've seen people exiting. Every day I've seen people doesn't want to do it. I keep pushing, and thank God it helped. It helped in business, helped in me. I found myself. Yeah.
Well, I heard someone say recently something about, if I can't remember who it was, but when they see something that scares them, that's exactly what they do. And I thought that was really good because I've done a lot of scary things. Myself, and I'm getting better at it. The more you do scary things and you go through that pain like you're talking about and that difficulty, the more you're like, oh,
Wow. Yeah.
I
And
can
in the
do
middle,
this.
you will feel like you want to leave it. Don't leave it, because this is the moment, you keep pushing. Like,
Yes, that's
you want to
right.
go stand up from the ice box and run.
That's
it's
right.
cold, it's pain. No, don't run. Say more, 2, 3, 4 minutes more.
So that's
Yeah.
I have two questions for you, and they're kind
Yeah.
of easy. So the first one is, why Russian, the language, and
Yeah.
what did you study for your PhD?
Well, it was a challenge for me because I already knew English. I was born in Cairo. So I wanted something else. I didn't want to go to Germany or US or whatever because I already have background. Russia was something new. Absolutely. I was in the United Nations University. I was studying something connected to hydro diplomacy. So I was fixing water problems in Africa.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, I work in this a lot.
Wow.
In the government of Egypt, yeah.
That's a huge problem.
Yeah, that's a huge
I mean,
problem.
an
Nile Basin
important
countries.
problem to
Yeah,
fix.
yeah. I was in this central department of bilateral cooperation between Nile Basin countries.
Wow.
So yeah. I've traveled to Kampala, Uganda. I was in Ethiopia.
Wow.
Yeah. I've seen this beautiful place. I love Africa. It's amazing.
Wow.
The only thing is, it didn't fit my character. I felt more and more as a creator, not. But I contributed on good things there, and maybe in the future I become a bigger person, and I would have maybe organization which can help in this part also and help United Nations and stuff like this. Because people there are amazing. I love them. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And so why Russian?
Why Russia? Because it's the biggest challenge.
Because it was the biggest challenge, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The hardest.
Right. That's what you said earlier. Is it
Yeah.
really the hard? You said it's the hardest language?
I think the hardest.
Because I heard
challenge for me.
Chinese.
No, one of
Oh,
the
hardest, biggest
one of
challenge
the
for
most
you.
difficult.
Got
yeah.
it.
I think Chinese is hard.
Chinese, I've heard, is the
Arabic
hardest.
is not easy. I think Russian is not easy. It's one of the
They're all up
most
there. They're
difficult.
all up there for me, for sure.
Yeah, like French, Spanish, German,
Right.
English.
Yes.
You can learn it.
Yes. Yeah, I admire. There's so many people that I've met that speak like 7 languages,
Yeah.
and
The
it's,
more
I
you
don't know why
learn,
the
the
number
easier.
7, but I've heard a lot of
Yeah.
people say, and I'm just like, wow,
But it's
amazing.
easier to become. Like for me now, if you know Russian and you know Arabic and you know English, if someone speaks Italian or I know some word, bilet, I know it's ticket in Russian. So it's easier for you. The
Right.
more language you know, the more language you can know.
Right.
People think it's more difficult. No.
Right.
Like I learn Russian, English, and Arabic. I can learn easy Spanish. It's easier for me.
Yes, because there's
your
something, a
mind-
mental map
yes.
or a puzzle that you know how to. It's like a
your mind
puzzle.
become easier because
Right.
and after you learn Spanish, it's so easy to speak Italian.
Yes.
And if you want to put French as well, you can put French in 6 months.
Right.
So it's like your mind becomes easier.
Well, now with Elon Musk's chips, we'll just put a chip in, which that's a whole different story. I don't know what I think about that. But so tell me, what is it you talked earlier about your own kind of journey, and you talked about being kind of quiet and getting answers. So tell me, what has been the most beneficial for you in your personal journey in finding who you are, even though it's still ongoing?
Yeah, the most beneficial, of course, was the pain. I lost my grandmother. I loved her the most in 2019. It was 2019.
Same years.
She died 4th of December, beginning of December. I've seen her a week before she dies. She died in 2019, the end of it. Yeah, and after 2020 started the COVID and Corona. So in this year, I've seen her more than 10 times, actually, because there was no Corona. I was traveling very often to Cairo. And then after 1 week, I traveled. After 4 days, I think she died. Yeah, and I couldn't accept it, and I gone crazy. I wanted to do everything wrong, you know this, and deep inside of you can't. It was really the most supportive and most loving, and she spoke 4 languages, and she was amazing woman. And she was always telling me everything will pass. You'll be amazing. You're like this. She was watching some Hollywood movies or something. You're something like this. She was saying me something very big, and she was loving too much. And losing her was very painful. But after a while, I understood that I have to accept that she's always with me. So
Absolutely.
I cannot run from it, run going to Egypt. No, she's always with me everywhere. Everything she taught me, everything. So I just embrace that she's always with me, and she's every step with me, watching and proud. And my mom is here with me. And so things changed, and I started to work hard on myself. I started with the diet. I started, with good cutting the bad people. And then I started to find myself that I want to contribute in something good in life, contribute to help people, to make difference.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
from there,
what
I think the pain and traveling, both.
and what is it you liked about your grandmother most?
Love.
Mm.
The way she touched your hand and the love. Yeah. I think when you give love unconditionally and you feel the love, she loves. She doesn't have any other feeling. Like no fear, no controlling, no judging, nothing. It just endless love.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Huge
Something you
power. That's why it's
huge
my
power.
favorite word.
Yeah, yeah. It's a huge power.
Yes.
And it's hard to find like people like this, like huge love.
Yes. And what brought you to Dubai?
2 years ago I came to Dubai. Yeah, I was in St. Petersburg, finished my PhD, and came to Dubai.
And why Dubai?
Because I think it's the most beautiful city in the world, and I understood that I need to go to Dubai. Dubai is amazing. It's multicultural, and I know I speak Arabic and Russian, and can do good things here. You meet the best people in Dubai.
And tell me a little bit about your home country. So because Egypt has been a place I've wanted to travel to since I was a child.
Wow.
And it's been on my bucket list for a while. I will go there. I have a friend actually who's there, and
you should go to Karnak and Abu Simbel and Luxor as one. River Nile tour.
Yes.
Yeah, it will take you to a journey in history.
Yes. Oh no,
You'll be
it's
on the
so
Nile, you will
amazing.
See these things 5,000-6,000 years ago. Yeah. You should go to Abu Simbel.
What history and what a country.
Yeah.
Incredible. Incredible.
It's beautiful, yeah.
And what is the food that is typical in Egypt that one must try if they go to Egypt?
There's a lot of food, there's a lot of things. There's a seafood kitchen, there's a meat kitchen, molokhaya and stuff like this. In Alexandria, it's famous of seafood. There is a famous dish in Egypt. It's called kosheri also. That's mix. It's a vegetarian.
Okay.
Are you vegetarian?
No.
No, yeah. But there's a lot of meat things. There's kofta, molokhaya, there's a green soup. Yeah, there's a
green
lot
soup.
Yeah, there's actually in Dubai a lot of Egyptian restaurants.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, you can try it. Yeah.
Are they good though? Because I know when I go to American restaurants in France, for example.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like any
What's the American food then? What's Chicago food?
Chicago deep dish pizza.
Oh, wow.
Is well known for deep dish pizza.
Deep dish.
Yes.
What is it?
So it's very thick Chicago style pizza.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan person. I mean, it's good once in a while, right? But yes.
But this is your childhood food, yeah.
One amongst many things, but it's well known. It's well known for that. Yeah. But when you go to an American, it's like any usually a foreign country doesn't know how to make another country's dish, so it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So you're
Only
in France.
Americans, but here's places where you go see the people who cooking.
They're real Egyptians who know how to cook Egyptian food. Yeah, that's the good stuff.
Like same with Chinese food. Chinese cooking Chinese, they're good.
Exactly.
Italian cooking Italian, French.
Yes, as long as they're native to that country. So, for example, they're Chinese people in France, but they've grown up in France, even though they have Chinese heritage, and they still don't really cook it the Chinese way,
really
right?
Cook. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. Okay, so I've asked you definitely more than, and you have not said no to any of my questions.
Yeah,
you know
good
that.
questions.
So they've been too easy, maybe.
They've been good.
Okay. What's another question for you?
What
is your biggest dream?
What is my biggest dream? Like, I don't know how to say this. It's a biggest dream. Like, what was your biggest dream?
My biggest dream? To elevate others' lives.
Yeah.
To feel when I'm on my deathbed that I can say, yep, I've helped other people elevate their lives. I've fulfilled a purpose.
Made a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to have this contribution of making life difference, even through my social media or through the media or through what I'm doing. My dream is to be who I am, to achieve this, to be there where I'm supposed to be, not in other place, to fulfill my purpose in life.
Amazing. And one other question, and that is, what do you think made, because you have like 1 million or some TikTok followers, right?
Yeah.
Roughly, which congratulations, by the way.
1.6 million followers.
1.6 million. Yeah. That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So why do you think, what is the one factor you think that has meant that you have that many followers?
And I grew this in 1 year, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was a past year, and it was very hard to now, with this algorithm, with this amount of creators, to to grow
Sure.
1.6 million followers with over a billion views? I think because I prepared for this my whole life. And I think because I'm being myself and I'm being honest and I'm being from my heart. Because when you try to copy someone, you're always going to have limits. Maybe if you start it in a good time, yeah, and you start to copy someone, you get a lot of followers. But now at this moment, it's hard, especially on TikTok. It's really not that easy like before. Maybe Instagram, if you copy someone, 10 seconds video, keep copy, you get something. But to get a genuine amount of followers who really love what you're saying, you should be yourself.
Yes.
Because you are a creator. You know, you're taking a place into something because being you. Like
Absolutely.
if you start to just copy someone, at some point people will understand this and you will have maybe 100K, 200K, but it will stop.
Yes.
Yeah. So just being myself and being honest and from my heart. And I want to contribute in people also life, you know, I want to give something interesting.
Amazing.
So I think about them. I think about you guys. So thank you so much for being part
A
of
pleasure.
After Show
Thank you for
podcast.
having me.
Can't wait to have you for episode 2, episode 3. Guys, comment what you want me to ask her, what you want her to ask me. Yeah, thanks. And,
yes, please do.
Maybe we'll do one in Paris. Yeah.
Sounds
that one
good.
was in Dubai. Next one can be in Paris. Yeah.
With pleasure. Please.
Yeah, thank you. And I had a question just for me. Like, what would you advise men for dating? Like some advices to men.
What would I advise men?
Yeah, because you're like mentoring a lot of women, helping them to date, you know, so you know well about relationship. If you have some advices for men, would help them to date better. So what would be your advices? Before we end the podcast,
it's a good question. I'm definitely. I would say I've heard men say, you know, can you help me find good women? you know, are there good women out there? And I think men are victims, quote unquote. It's like, for example, ghosting. Ghosting is a very common phenomenon right now, especially with dating apps. So you're speaking with somebody and they disappear, right? You're ghosted. And actually, women ghost men more than men ghost women. I think it's about 57%. I saw one stat for women, so slightly above men. But ultimately, there are tons of good women out there. But they're actually, I could totally run a program for men. But my advice would be to filter through the women that are based on their values. That would be my advice. Very overarching, big, short answer.
Yeah, so you mean they check women, what their values?
Right. So if a woman if they're looking for a committed relationship, I think it's a lot of women want committed relationships or say they want committed relationships. Some of them say it, but they're not ready for it or they're not sure they want it.
Yeah.
So there's that. But if a man wants a committed relationship, it's very generally appealing for women. Because that's what many women want. And so I'd say to make his intentions clear in a kind way.
I like this. Okay, now I got it. So for a man just to be, kind with their intentions. But it changed by time. Maybe he has the beginning intentions just to spend time, and then after a while he decide to have commitment.
Exactly.
So it changes.
Absolutely. I mean, some women, for example, if a man says, you know, I'm just having fun with dating or whatever, some women can be very defensive and be like, you know, well, if you're just trying to sleep with me, then and they're boom, very defensive.
But
whereas the man's
honest.
just being honest.
That he's honest.
He's just being honest, right? There's nothing wrong with
honest,
if that's what the man is after.
Yeah.
Women aren't a little bit more convoluted because society has made it that it's not well seen for a woman to say that she's kind of looking to experiment or have fun dating different people. So it makes her look frivolous or not serious. So she kind of masks it sometimes. Now, depends on the woman, of course, but some of them say, you know, I want a relationship, but they want to just experiment and have fun. So for a man, I would say to be honest and to not take women's defensiveness personally, because again, it's not personal.
Yeah, that's out of her. Yeah. So thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming here. Really, so glad and honored that you're part of After Shower podcast. And guys, your comments, yalla.
Speak
So
soon.
Thanks. Bye bye.